So we can start whenever you want.
I think we're on air now.
Okay, awesome. Yay. I'm sorry, I'm just.
Start with question number 1.
Awesome.
With question number 1, what does love mean for these two writers? Well, so writers. How do you say that name? Is it Eric Gray?
I don't know.
How do you say that name?
I don't know. It's really hard. You can say it however you think you. It's.
Okay, because see how as I was through both of their writing and about of our the first and how he it really explained that love is not to eventually have the person around. Can be if the person around or can have like um, image of a person if the person already not existing, but still there is exist. And well, I like the way that it's really helping us to look at ourselves and the way we really try to a better, love and beautiful way. Or so it's referring to the other author. I think he defined love in a more I desire you, I take you, all those, instead of really saying I do love you. So I'm thinking Liu's Iraq Ray is kind of really love can promote even with images or with paintings or with things that are really showing exist. But Renata just thinking of fully explaining love in words. I don't know if that makes any. That's what I think of what the two writers were trying to explain about love.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. I think I also agree that the first author was talking about more of who we are. I mean, it's more like loving ourselves, and it talks a lot about our ego and how we have to love ourselves before loving someone else. And I mean, it helps you to look at who you are and who you want to be and to accomplish, and it's like all surrounded of you. I mean, it's really selfish, and it talks a lot about your ego, but mm, like there's a quote, I think Jeremy put it, and it says perceive ourselves in a new way, that we're beautiful and lovable and decent, And then the second author talks about not just yourself but someone else, and how you can love is about someone else, like having something or someone, and it's about possession, having them in your, having them as yours. I mean, it sounds still a little bit of selfish, but it's more of they're two. They're not just one individual. There's two individuals, but they have to possess each other in order to love each other, kind of thing.
Okay. I think that's great what you mentioned about it's all about the first one thing about the ego and like what they really looked at to describe love. Yeah. So do you want to start with question number 2?
Okay. Do you mind reading the question? My phone doesn't show the question.
Yes, I don't. Oh, okay. How does love affect another person?
I think that love can change a person. How do you, like, it can change you, and it can also change another person.
Yes.
I mean, I think that, I mean, everyone says love is everything, and love is the only thing that can change someone. And I think that's true. I mean, when you get married or when you're like just dating someone, you change for that person, and that person changes for you, so that you guys can match together. And I think that whenever they don't match is when they break up, or they're not together anymore because they haven't been able to change. But if like we related to the authors, I think the first author would say, well, it's mainly about you, and if you feel comfortable with someone else. And I mean, but but the second person, I mean, the second author would say, wait, I'm trying to read the thing. Yeah, the second author says, you can help, I mean, not you, but like whoever you love can help me become, I mean, you can help me become better, but still you don't need to change me. So it's like contributing themselves. So yeah, I just think that's what I think.
Okay. I think you said it about the really affect another person. We can really understand it, especially us as married couples. We know how like the love and feelings that you have towards another, and these two authors the change in how Irigare talks about the love that causes us to be, and taking away the freedom of movement between the two lovers. And also it can help us to have sometimes not have good relationships with our loved ones, especially when possessive is present. So as it really affects, love affects the way we see another person, whether we feel that love can cause us to have any feeling person that will create problems, but yeah, that loves really have an impacts and expectations for ourselves. About number 2.
Yeah.
Um,
I think
I'll
that's true.
start question number 3. Does does this necessarily need to happen as far as these writers are concerned? With me and how I look at it, I don't that Celeste or whatever the author is things about the ego and love that can really naturally happen. And it's just, I think Jeremy mentioned the same thing, like how our brain works in our languages. Author was mentioning the selfless through our love that we cannot be able to be successful, that will not be able to improve. We will continue to be in stage with how we express our love towards our others. And I think it's not necessarily to happen until a person takes it to itself and see how they react to how love can have an effect on them. So yeah, that's a question.
Yeah, like you said, I think it doesn't I mean, every person is different, so it doesn't necessarily happen to everyone. I mean, it's like a 50-50 chance, I would say, that love can happen to a person in that certain way. Um, I mean, everyone should be able to love themselves and have that selfish love kind of way, but it should only go to a limit. And I mean, and I don't think well, but if you love yourself too much, I think it's a little bit harder to stop loving you. I mean, you can't just, it's a natural thing to love yourself because you're yourself and you are going to compare yourself with everyone else and you're going to be, oh, I'm better at that person because of it. But with the other author,
Okay.
I don't know how to say it. Irigaray. I don't know. Maybe that, well, possession. Yeah, I think it happens. It could happen to some people when they have trust issues, or they don't believe in themselves so much, so they rely on the other person. So they need someone else to make themselves feel better. So it's like they're using the other person to be good, and that's why they love them. But I guess that's not really a good scenario. So it can happen. It doesn't happen as much as the selfish love, but it can happen. I don't know if I answered that right, but that's what I think.
Well, then the next question, do you agree with the type of love that these writers use?
I think I agree. I mean, in a way, I agree. I agree that sometimes it's good to have selfish love, and and it's. I think I also agree that sometimes it feels good to feel like someone else belongs to you, and you belong to someone. I don't know how to answer this question, but I guess it's. Do you want to go first? I don't really know how to answer this question. I mean, I agree, but I think it depends. Depends on what. Yeah. Go.
With me in how I feel about that question, I think I agree about Celestial and what um, uh, she's shared from her own experience that the person like myself is, if I'm thinking about the situations that she was trying to explain, however, really I think like the importance of having the same understanding, because sometimes when we love something, we tend to really stick to that thing, and sometimes when we try to look better at times and in our minds, and we sometimes when we have interactions with the person, we find out something different, and that sometimes it's so frustrating to us. That's what I understand about Celestial and what she was trying to share about love. And as I'm thinking about time, we we really fully express our love to others, but then when we react to and then we find out something, and then it's sometimes so happiness when we out fully what love is. And maybe sometimes we find, selfish, and then our relationships will good. But um so that's what I think I agree with Celestia and what she was trying to share. Yeah, that's how I understand it.
Okay. I was able to find the question better, and I read what Jeremy said. Well, now that you kind of explained, I think. Okay, in my own opinion, I think I don't. agree with them. I don't think that love is does necessarily have to be selfish or to be possessive. I think that love, the definition of love, is charity, which is caring about putting your needs after the needs of someone. I mean, if you really love someone, you're gonna put that someone on top of yourself. And if that someone, and there's a phrase, if you love someone so much, you sometimes have to let them go. I also believe in that. I believe that love is not just one way, it has to be two ways. You can love someone that doesn't love you, like your enemies, like loving your enemies. So yeah, so I agree with them. I mean, there is a selfish love and there is a possessive love, and sometimes we try to make it in our minds better, that way we feel better, but then you go to reality and it's not as good. That way you have to be realistic and try to see, why do you love this person honestly, and not try to see, oh, I would love this person if they were like this, so in my mind they are like this, and then you go to reality and it's not really that way. So yeah, I think that love is not selfish, and it's not possessive. So I think it's contrary. It's completely different than that. So yeah, that was good.
So yeah, so yeah, I think we also answered the last
Yeah.
question. If not, what other definitions of love might you suggest? I think we pretty much touched on that. Well, I agreed, and like what you said, that we might suggest that is love is between two people. Like, you have to love someone and they love you back. Being just one side love, and I'm just thinking about a lot of people here in Tonga, like the love that they have for one another, especially if the spouse is gone or the wife is gone from home, like always something that they could hold on to, just to that love, because if it will not, it's, that's when the selfish comes in. Sudden that love broke and ended up not really in a good situation, and the relationships start to be corrupted. Yeah, I think Pasimati is calling us. I end this
Really?
broadcast so we can talk to her.
Yeah, that works.
Oh, okay.